Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk about something that I get asked about literally every single day, and that is if excess calories can cause weight gain. So I just kind of want to talk about calories in a sense for a minute, and then I'll kind of explain where I'm going with this. I get a lot of messages from girls that are saying like they've come to a high carb, low fat vegan lifestyle and they're gaining weight and they don't know why they're gaining weight, and it really like breaks my heart to see people come to this lifestyle and gain weight, because unless you're coming from a past of, you know, severe anorexia or being underweight or being very malnourished or something like that, you really shouldn't be gaining weight, especially if you are overweight or even a normal body weight. You shouldn't be gaining weight when you're coming to a high carb, low fat vegan diet. So can excess calories cause weight gain? Yes. If we eat more calories than we consume, those calories can be turned into body fat. Now I say they can and not they will, because obviously not every single calorie is equal. Say that we take two people and both of their total daily energy expenditure is 2,000 calories, and both those people are eating 2,500 calories a day. One person is eating a very high carb, low fat, whole foods, even plant-based diet, and the other person is eating 2,500 calories worth of meat, dairy, let's say junk food, oil, things like that. The person who is eating the 2,500 calories worth of standard American foods is going to gain more fat than the person who is eating a high carb, low fat vegan diet. So they're both in excess of 500 calories per day. There is obviously the law of thermodynamics, which is how our body converts food into energy and how we store energy and things like that. But the thing that I think is very misinterpreted in the vegan community is that, you know, your body, if you eat any excess carbohydrates whatsoever, like they cannot be stored as body fat. But that isn't true. We only typically lose about 30% of those calories because of the energy that it takes for our body to convert it into storage and into body fat. So taking a very high fat diet, like a standard American diet, fat is very easily converted into body fat. So that person could be gaining 400, 450 calories extra per day of stored body fat, and over time they can gain a lot of weight quickly. But the vegan, the high carb, low fat vegan, is still going to be in an excess of calories that can be stored as body fat if they're not burning it off. So about 30% of those calories will actually be used up in the process of converting the carbohydrates into energy. But not all of those calories are burned up. So you can gain weight eating even a small amount of excess calories. It's going to take a lot longer than it's going to take if you're eating a standard American diet or a very high fat diet, but it can happen, and it will happen, and it's happened to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And I just want to talk about this because in this community, it's just this perpetuated misinterpretation or lie or just whatever it is, that you cannot get fat on a high carb, low fat vegan diet. But it happened to me, it's happened to tons of other girls, and I think the reason that this happens so frequently is because in this community we're always focused on like carbs, 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 carbs. Carbs give you energy, they give you health, they give you life. You need more carbs, you need as many carbs as you can. And what I see from a lot of girls and people that message me on Tumblr and Instagram and Facebook and emails and all these things is usually it's a story like this where they've been high carb, low fat for 2 months, they've never restricted in the past, they are overweight, they have excess weight to lose, and they typically eat something like this. Like they'll have a cup of oatmeal with a bunch of fruit for breakfast, then they have a lunch with like rice and beans and maybe some salsa or something on top, and then they go home and they have, you know, more rice or potatoes or something very carb rich and starchy. But the thing that people aren't understanding, I think, is the advantage that we have when we eat a high carb, low fat vegan diet. It's not just about, you know, starches and fruits and that's it. The thing about this diet and why we can eat more and be thin and be fit and be healthy and, you know, these girls are all looking up to other vegans on Instagram and YouTube, and they're eating like 2,000, 3,000 calories a day, and they're very fit and healthy. The thing that a lot of people don't really understand is that maintaining your weight and losing weight are two completely different things. I have lost over 65 pounds following this diet. The way that I eat right now, I wouldn't be able to actually maintain my weight on it because I am still losing weight. Your diet from when you're maintaining and your diet from when you're losing is going to be different. You have to have some type of a caloric deficit to lose weight. And I'm not saying that you have to restrict your food intake, that you have to starve, that you have to do any of this stuff. If you watch my What I Eat videos, like, I don't go hungry, I don't starve, I don't do any of that. But the thing that people don't really understand is that you need to be consuming foods lower in caloric density. So if your goal is to lose weight, your focus should really be on eating as many vegetables and greens and lower caloric dense foods that you can to fill you up, and then eat your starches and your fruits and things like that. Because a lot of people will say, like, I could eat 2 pounds of white rice and not be full. And it's generally because they're eating a lot of carbohydrates and they're not eating a lot of fiber rich, super filling, nutrient dense foods to back it up with, and they just kind of get an insulin spike and they're ravenously hungry and they can just eat and eat and eat. And that's a great way to eat if you are already at your goal weight, if you are, you know, a competitive athlete, or you want to improve your athletic times. Like, people shouldn't be afraid of plant foods. Like, you shouldn't be afraid of sugar, fruits, or starches, or calories in general, but it's just using these things in your in a way to get you to where you want to go. So we see a lot of variations on this diet, and people have different goals and different mindsets and different results, obviously, because some people are very, very, very active. Some people are already thin, they've always been thin, and they can eat a lot of calories because they're just maintaining their weight. But for the majority of the people that follow me and that have a normal life, you know, they're not a YouTuber, they can't spend all day exercising, or they're not very active, they generally like wake up in the morning, they have to make breakfast really quick, they have to get to work, they sit at a desk all day, they don't get a lot of movement, and they're gaining weight on this lifestyle. It's because you are consuming more calories than you are burning. And the way to fix this problem is to just add in as many calorically dilute foods as you possibly can. So the thing to do is to have your breakfast of oatmeal and fruit and all that kind of stuff, but don't be adding like tons of sugar to it or tons of empty calories to it. For lunch, have like a big salad before your actual lunch. And I'm not saying that you have to cut down on your starches or stop eating starches or anything like that, but just add in a lot more greens and a lot more vegetables to bulk your diet up, to keep you more full and to keep you more satisfied. And then you're going to generally eat a little bit less of the calorically dense foods. So this isn't calorie restriction in any way. It is eating as much as you want. You can eat until you literally like want to burst. But if you're trying to lose weight and you want to do it in a way where you don't have to count your calories and, you know, like nitpick every single little thing and restrict and starve or anything like that, your diet should literally be like 50-50. So you should have your more calorically dense foods on this side, like your fruits and your starches, and then you can always add in like a tiny bit of nuts or avocado or seeds or whatever you want, but very, very small amounts. This side should be all of your greens, all of your vegetables, and your less calorically dense foods. So you want to fill your body up with these foods to keep you more satisfied, and then eat your starches on top of it. So eat starches on top of a salad, or eat a salad before your meals, or eat a big bowl of steamed broccoli or cauliflower or whatever kind of vegetables that you like with your meal. Generally before your meal is better. And just know that you can always eat more food. This doesn't have to be like a restrictive thing, but I just noticed so much in this community that it is just like, get your carbs in, get your sugar in, get in as much as you possibly can, and so many people are gaining weight and having actual like health problems. And I just don't want to see such a beautiful diet and this movement and all these things be causing, you know, negativity in people's lives just because they're misinterpreting the way that some of us YouTubers like to get the message across. And then when you get closer to your healthy, normal, stable weight that your body should be at, you can obviously lower the amount of vegetables and greens that you're eating, and you'll be able to easily maintain your weight on this lifestyle just eating a lot of starches and fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and all those things. So I hope this video is helpful for you guys. Leave me any questions below, and I will see you guys tomorrow.